Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of Spirit Rebels. And this week we are talking about money and abundance with me, Helen, and
Me, Shelley. I do that every time, and I don't know why I do it because I sound so silly. It was with I, Shelley of Shelley Magic. I don't know where this accent just came from. Should we be this person all day long? And no, let's not. I don't know where that came from. I might even edit it out. Well, I won't because I say that.
no, don't edit it out. How are you, lovely?
I am good. I'm good. This time of year, it's funny. It's not funny actually. Oh, I'm all over. This time of year is meant to be the winding down, the releasing, the letting go, the hibernating, relaxing time. Because we're actually recording on Mabon itself, the witchy festival of the autumn equinox. Um, and this is my busiest time of year, so everything kicks off. And me, with the way that my brain works, decided to launch like so much new stuff. And I'm just like, what? And I love it all. But when I love it all, I just get so entangled in it. And it's a busy time. Let me just say that. It is a busy time, but I'm loving it. I've been focusing a lot on my return to Reiki course, which is just going phenomenal. And the feedback I've had has just been amazing. And it is just pressing all my buttons and making me feel really good. So yeah, I'm loving that. Back to school, everyone's in and settled, and it's all the September coughs and colds are all coming up. So I'm like avoiding touching my children as much as I possibly can. Wash your hands, keep away, don't start in my face. So yeah, I'm good. How are you, my love?
Yeah, I'm good as well, thank you. I quite like this time of year, the season change. I like getting my tights out and my winter boots, although we've not quite been there. And I went out on Saturday with my friend and just to have a little mooch around the shops for her birthday and walk along the beach. And it was like 20 degrees and I wasn't dressed for 20 degrees. So as I keep mentioning on the pod, this I can't even speak, perimenopausal woman, I'm like there sweating, like, how can it be 20 degrees? Although today, but not that it'll matter when you're listening to this, but today it's very grey and rainy. So,
It's grey and
but
rainy
no,
here.
but
Boo.
life is good. Can't complain. Very lucky, very blessed. So, yeah, enjoying life.
Good. And speaking of lucky and blessings, we're going to talk about something today that is a bit like, oh, well, I have some clients that are very open to talking about this sort of stuff. And I've got some clients who totally freeze and seize when we talk about this sort of stuff because we're talking about money and abundance. And I think that money has well, it's maybe it's changed a little bit. I don't know. But in a lot of places, money and the idea of talking about money is quite taboo. And talking about wanting more money is a bit like cringe. No, we're not allowed. It's greedy, it's selfish. Oh my goodness, no, and everyone gets their knickers in a twist a little bit about it. So we're gonna kind of open this great big but I know they said bag of worms. Worms don't come in bags, do they? What is it? Can of worms. Bag of
Yeah, can of
snakes. You
worms.
know what we're gonna open summit and release all this stuff so that by the end of the episode we're all totally comfortable about talking about money and asking the
Yeah.
universe for more money and doing so without any guilt or shame related to it.
I think a lot of this relates, interestingly, to maybe our childhoods and how we grew up thinking about money. I come from a very working class family, which I'm exceptionally proud of, and both my brother and myself have now got really good jobs. We've worked hard for that, I think, yeah, at the time, like of our generation, we went to university and things like that. We're really lucky. I remember we didn't have much, and then everything we had was secondhand, but we went with love. And I remember my mum was always there, like came to every property and helped clean it and everything like that. And when I went to university, it was back in the day where you got grants. You fully got a grant, and I still came out of university with 10 grand's worth of debt, which took me 20 years to pay off, exactly 20 years. These days, the youth are coming out with 35 plus, 40, 50 grand's worth of debt. And I do think I've always had a lot of thoughts around money. For me personally, it's been, well, you have to work hard and you might lose it all and you didn't have anything. And yeah, I think I've definitely got issues around the fact that we grew up so loved, and I would say we did have everything, but not we had love and we did have toys and we had all those things, but it wasn't like top of the range. And we were taught to look after our things. You don't break it because it couldn't easily be replaced. So our stuff was in meticulous condition and things like that. Was your childhood similar?
Yeah, very much so. And I think where we're going with this, and you know what, this is going to touch on manifestation stuff, it's going to touch on hidden beliefs, which we've mentioned before, and next week is just all about our hidden beliefs. The fact that our experiences teach us what to believe, and those beliefs kind of wiggle deep down inside of us, and it's our beliefs that then control how we live and how we create and what we allow ourselves to manifest and what we prevent ourselves from manifesting. And it's yeah, it's funny because we all have money stories and we all have these things that we're told, you know, money doesn't go on trees, and nothing worth having comes easy, you know, stuff like that. But actually all of these little phrases and all the things that we're taught just work against the law of attraction. So when we live by these beliefs, it prevents us from having anything better. And there's so much, like, God, this is such a deep subject to talk about. That, and I will just mention that, and I don't know if I've spoke about this before, that only 5% of the beliefs that we carry are conscious. 95% of our beliefs are all, you know, under the surface. If you think that we're like an iceberg with that little tip sticking out the top, that is what we are conscious of. And then the stuff underneath, the great big chunk of iceberg that's, you know, under the water, that's all the stuff that it's like computer programs that are running in the background controlling everything, and we're just not even aware that they're there. And we can have so many hang-ups about money because of our money story. And it's only when we start to look at our money story that we start to actually understand where we're coming from. Because I can have a belief in my head that, yeah, I deserve £1 million, end of. But if the majority of me, the bit under the water, is thinking things like, you know, no, you're not worthy of £1 million. You can never have £1 million. Oh, what would happen if you got £1 million? Would people still like you? Would people still want you? Would, you know, oh, you're going to have to work so hard for £1 million. You'll never see your kids. You'll have to travel loads and loads. That'll be awful. You'll hate it. You know, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing to think about, these beliefs that we carry about money, is the fact that if you have money, you are not a nice person. Now, you only have to watch family movies, especially 1980s. So when we were growing up watching the movies,
Yeah.
you have to watch these movies, and every single bad guy was rich. And the good guys were the underdogs. They were the poor ones that had nothing for themselves but helped everybody else. And that's a massive message to the fact that, you know, people who are rich are assholes. Well, I know lots of people who have lots of money and they're very nice. And we
Yeah.
don't have any spotlight shone on the people who are very wealthy but do so much with their money, particularly women. We're not told about these crazy successful women who, you know, set up different schemes and grants and trusts and stuff to support vulnerable people, or, you know, fund education for people, or whatever it might be. There's so many people out there doing really good stuff with their lots of money, but we don't hear about that. All we're told is that, you know, oh, this rich person did a bad thing and this rich person did a bad thing as well. We don't get to hear about the good things. So again, it reinforces these under the surface beliefs that if you know, rich people are assholes. And actually, no, money is neither good nor bad. It's, you know, how we wield it. I know lots of poor people who are assholes. I know rich people who are assholes. I know poor people who are lovely, and I know rich people who are lovely. And actually, it has nothing to do with how much money they have. It just has to do with whether or not they're an asshole. And it doesn't matter about their financial situation. Do you know what I mean?
I do. But also, we're in a different era now to when we were growing up. So we're now in the era of influencers and things
Yeah.
like that. And so, like our children, particularly, I mean, Lily loves watching all of those blooming late teens or early 20 people that are just literally getting rich through wearing clothes or whatever it might be. And so I feel like we've got all these other challenges now, particularly as parents raising children with expectations around money and I suppose I'm of the ilk through growing up of we have to work. You work hard for your money and then you save up and you get something and you've worked for that, you've earned that. So I suppose actually, like maybe for Lily, if she's not going to become an influencer, but let's say she did become an influencer, is that so bad? I mean, personally, for me as a parent, I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine my child being an influencer. However, they're still working and still earning money and things like that.
But that begs the question. Oh God, I hope we're not going to fall out over this one. That begs the question: why is it important that they work? Now, when I look at my kids, and I guess for me as well, I highly, well, how do I put this? I want to be of value to this planet, whether it is to local people, international people. I want to be of value. I want my presence on this earth to leave a positive mark so that I've either helped people, made people feel better, contributed stuff. Now, lots of people contribute different things, whether it's support, whether it's information, whether it's products, whether it's art and beauty and stuff that makes people feel good. I want to leave a mark on this planet and I want my kids to do exactly the same. But it is, again, it comes back to these beliefs that the fact that to make money you have to do hard work. And well, you know what? Law of attraction says that's not true.
And this is what you need to help me with, because I am in that mindset, you see, of growing up that to get things you work hard, to achieve you work hard. And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but I really struggle, and I've been into law of attraction for a while now, and the one area I have struggled is always on the money side.
Yeah.
And believing that I can attract it into my life and things like that. I do really struggle with that concept because for me, I personally associate it with hard work.
Yeah, and I think that is massive deep programming, and the majority of the world are carrying that programming, me included. I am not, totally cleaned up on the money side of things, not by a long shot. But I'm aware of it, and I keep trying to work on it and clean it up. But this stuff, and it proves this stuff runs so deep, because we can manifest pink cars and we can manifest jobs and opportunities and lovely, lovely things. But when it comes to cold hard cash, that's where it stops. And the reason being is because we are trying to earn our money rather than attract it. Because actually the money that comes into our life is a totally different subject to the universe as how we contribute to this world and the work that we do. But we have it so tied up, you work, you get paid, you work, you get paid, you don't work, you don't get paid. And if you do get paid and you don't work, you're a total freeloader. That is how the world thinks, that's how it works. But actually, the universe does not link money with the work that we do. The universe wants us to work and contribute. It doesn't want us just sitting about on our bums all the time, because what kind of experience do we get out of that? But it wants us to follow what makes us happy. So, and this is why people who are doing jobs that are not right for them just feel like they're living in a stuck, awful situation, because actually they should be out creating sculptures or writing poetry or landscaping gardens or whatever it is. But we're all too frightened to actually follow our own truth and our path. I did it, but it's not necessarily been an easy road. And I look back, and when I was young, I mean, what was I when I started the business? 27. And some people may say, some people looked at me like I was mad. I left this corporate job that paid super, super well, had amazing prospects. If I'd still been in that job now, my income would be quadrupled, never mind anything else. But I left that because I knew my heart was calling for me to do something bigger. For me, something that would mean I felt more fulfilled. But yeah, the universe doesn't tie the money that we get and the work that we do. It's a totally separate subjects to the universe. It's just humans that tie them up.
So how do we break this cycle then? How do we change our thought process in that respect? If you were going to work with somebody like me then, that has that very rigid thought of, well, okay, you work hard, you know, you work up the ladder, you get paid well, then you go and buy what it is ever you want, for example. How do we break this cycle so that we can just attract this abundance into our lives, and hopefully some of that abundance is financial abundance?
Yeah, well, we start by cleaning up those old beliefs, and whether you do that through like theta healing and belief clearing, whether you use your good old Ho'oponopono, that's amazing for it. So whenever you catch yourself having thoughts like, can't afford that, or I've got to wait till payday, there's no other way money can come in, it's literally payday or nothing. You just Ho'oponopono it. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. Anytime you think memories or thoughts that link in with your money story, like, hard work equals money. If you catch yourself saying to Lily, oh, you'll never amount to anything if you don't put the effort in now. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. And
I have said that. It's terrible, isn't it?
Oh no, I thought you meant Ho'oponopono.
No, I haven't Ho'oponopono'd it, but I have said that to my child, and then I do have immense guilt for having said that. Yeah, because that's what got said to me, and then you just carry it on.
And we just perpetuate this cycle of these awful beliefs that just have people feeling like they're a failure if they've got no money, and if they haven't worked hard and earned everything. I mean, you know what? If you think about the story of your daughter's life before it's happened, how would you feel knowing your daughter reached the age of 70, okay? And she had loads of money. She had this job that paid so well, but she was ill. She was ill. She was depressed. She never got, a partner because she was so wrapped up in her work, and she gave every single part of herself. She never really got any hobbies. She didn't have any fun. And then she hits like 65, 70 years old, and that's all she's got. She's got loads of money in the bank, but she's got no one to share it with.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't take the money with us, do we? So you could be lying there on your deathbed with stacks of cash next to you, but that's not coming. That's not crossing the line.
No, and you know what? It's the whole thing, and the whole idea of money doesn't buy you happiness. Well, I'm sorry, but it does in the days that we are living in, because, and you get this, and I don't know if I've said this before, but as a parent, is there any joy or happiness in knowing that you can't afford to buy your kids' school uniform or pay for a school trip? You can't afford to pay your mortgage or your rent, or having to sell your house to downsize. There's no joy in panicking over being able to put food on the table, or Christmas coming up and thinking about, oh God, they want an Xbox, or they want this, or they want that. And you want to get the stuff for them. There is no joy, because money is freedom, and money is choice. And that is what we're craving. The majority of people on this planet aren't looking for money. They are looking for the sense of freedom and the sense of choice, because otherwise we end up like this cliched phrase of, the whole rat race, and we're just, cogs in a machine that all we're doing is living for retirement. And then that's when life can start. And
often you get those horrible, sad stories, don't you, that people worked hard all their lives, then retire, and then drop dead.
Yeah.
So at the point they think they're about to enjoy their life, they drop dead. And I do agree with that. I do want my daughter to have good principles, as in I do want her to get a part-time job, and as she gets older, and earn money, because I think those skills are good as well for developing. But for me, I want to know I've got money in the bank to be able to give her experiences. Yeah. So I'm very blessed. I have family that live in Hong Kong. I have family that live in Australia. And last year, Lily and I went out to Hong Kong for a week. We've been there a few times, but Lily's only been there a couple of times. But this time was really nice, because she was obviously so much older. She could really, really appreciate it. And I mean, how lucky, how great that we can do that. There's people in the world that will never get to go abroad, let alone somewhere like that. And for me, that's what I want to always sort of attract money, so that I can give her those experiences. That's more important to me than buying the top range of makeup product that whatever these teenagers are into these days, that cost a fortune. Okay, so we've got to do some clearing of these hidden beliefs, which we'll obviously touch on a lot more next episode. Okay.
But there's also this thought that, wanting money, asking for money is greedy, it's shameful, it's bad, it's selfish. Because we live in a world of a lack mentality, a lack mindset. When I'm working with my clients and I do belief clearing and work around money in abundance, the amount of people that when we get down to it are carrying a belief that actually if they have money, someone else misses out, someone else has to suffer if they have the money, or that they should just be grateful for what they've got, be thankful for what you've got. There's people in worse off situations than you. And yeah, there are, but that's their story. Sorry, but it is. Abraham Hicks, I love Abraham Hicks. They have a saying, and you can never be poor enough to make somebody else rich. And I love that. I'm going to say it again, just let it drop in. You can never be poor enough to make someone else rich. Because you know what? If you have no money, you can't help anybody else. And if you have money, you absolutely can, no matter what it's with. And people say, oh, well, if you're really poorly, money's going to do nothing for you. I'm sorry, but it will in this day and age. You can travel to find the best surgeons and the best treatments and pay for all sorts of different practices and everything else. Rich people have access to so much more than people who don't have the money to be able to do that. And as I said before, money does not buy happiness. No, you can be miserable and rich. Why can't we have a balance of both? Why can't we be okay with attracting money to ourselves? I have this conversation with Paul an awful lot. We have done over the years about the idea. And I think my ideas have changed about it because so when in a 9 to 5 type job, you get your pay packet once a month, or depending on the job, maybe it's once a week, once a fortnight, whatever. His money drops in once a month, and that has to last him for the month. Whereas with my work, depending on what jobs I've got on, who signs up to what, the subscription money comes in, it kind of comes in throughout the month. Every day there's something coming in some way, shape, or form. And that has helped me to understand that actually it can just appear. Money, we have this belief that if you work, the only way to get more money is to win the lottery or get a promotion. You can do that.
I think exactly that.
It's absolutely not true, because we don't associate miracles with money. And if we do, we think they're totally out of our range, out of our reach. I'll tell you a story, Helen, little story. Have I told you this before about how I managed to go and do my holy fire training?
No.
Okay. Well, we settled in. Let me tell you a little story. This is what manifesting money looks like. So, go back to 2019. Yes. I desperately wanted to. I was Reiki trained. I was teaching Usui and Karuna Reiki. Loved it. But William Lee Rand was teaching, who was one of my heroes, Reiki heroes, was teaching Holy Fire Reiki in Glastonbury for a week. The course was something like £1,995 or something. Then I would have to pay for accommodation, transport to get there, food, all the rest of it. A single mom at the time, I was like, there's no way I'm spending £1,990 odd on myself to go and do something like this, even though it was for the business, even though it would generate me more income in the long run. Nope, can't, won't, not happening. But my heart was screaming for this. It was screaming to the point that one day I opened my laptop that had been switched off completely, and the web page for the course was just loaded on the screen in front of me. And I kept looking at it. I was like, oh my God. And I went, right, universe, you want me to be there? Get me there, get me the money, get me there. Shut the laptop, forgot about it. Literally, it would either be the next day or the day after. There was a letter on my doormat when I got back in from wherever I had been. And I opened it up, and it was from Lloyds Bank. And this letter, and I put my hand on my heart and swear to you this is the truth. I'm going to cry just thinking about it, because this experience just is wonderful evidence that this stuff works. This letter was from Lloyds telling me that my PPI claim had been successful. I'd never made a PPI claim.
Oh my goodness.
And do you know how much money was to be deposited into my bank over the next coming weeks?
£1,995.
Exactly. To the penny of how much the course cost.
Oh my God.
Tell me that's not a miracle.
That is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. It was coming up to my birthday, so my mum paid for my accommodation. Paul gave me cash for fuel for the car, and I drove down, did it, and it was the most life-changing thing ever. And there is no way I would be doing what I'm doing now if I had not done that course. It was the most amazing experience, apart from bringing me so much joy and happiness. And I got to meet William Lee Rand, which was just so cool, and work in Glastonbury, and it was all just amazing. Yeah, it happens. It absolutely happens. And that, when I got the letter, I rang Paul up. We hadn't been together very long at that point in time. I rang him up and I was like, "You'll never guess what? There's money. Oh my God." I was like, "It's going to pay for Tristan's birthday. It's going to pay for Tabitha's birthday. It's going to do this. I can pay that off." And he was like, "No, you're going to book the course." I was like, I can't." He went, "You asked the universe for this money. It brought it to you. If you do not book this course, well, you're just literally pissing in its face." I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Nice phrasing.
So I booked the course and it all just came together and everything was amazing.
And it has been amazing for your life and enhancing for your career.
In so many ways.
It is pretty phenomenal, that story, actually, Shells. I can't believe it. But again, playing devil's advocate, I think, well, that's great that that's happened to you. None of that shit ever happens to me.
But Helen, that comes to the fact that you are and I'm doing air quotes, not good manifester, which we talked about in episode 1.
Yeah, true.
Come back to those 3 things, okay? To be able to attract something into your life, you have to believe it's possible. None of us believe winning £1 million on the lottery is possible. We don't believe these situations are possible. We don't believe that money can come from anywhere other than our monthly pay packet. We have to believe that it is safe enough for us to attract into our life what it is that we want. And for a lot of us, having money isn't a safe place to be. We are afraid we'll be rejected by our social circle, our friends, because we have more money. Will our family, we might have grown up hearing phrases like, "Oh, look at them and their new car. Oh, they're booking another holiday. More money than sense." That is a phrase I've heard a lot through my life. So, if we have a lot of money, oh God, will our families not want us? And consciously, our conscious brain goes, no, they'd be really happy for us. But it's not our conscious brain that's actually putting out the vibration to attract this stuff. It's that 95% of the underneath the iceberg that's screaming out these messages. So it might not be safe for us to have a lot of money. Maybe we have been led to believe in the past through our own actions or through other people saying stuff to us that we're useless with money, would just waste it all. It would get frittered away and then you'd be a failure because you'd have all this money and you'd just waste it on stuff that's not valuable or important. So there's possibility, there's safety, and then there is the big one, which is deservability. Do we believe that we are deserving of a wealthy lifestyle? And that is where we start to get really scrunched up, because at the heart of it, none of us, well, we've all been kind of trained to believe that we aren't worthy of doing that. Money's for other people. Money's for people who are more powerful, who are bigger and better and brighter or thinner or cleverer or prettier or, more arseholey or whatever else it is. So these 3 things all come together to reinforce our money stories from when we're younger, and then continue to feed into our vibration, which either enables us or blocks us from attracting the money that we want. Does that all make sense?
It does make sense. I just know, and I don't want to touch on it in this episode, but I do know, like when we do next week's episode with hidden beliefs, that so much of my challenge is around that, I think. And it just seems like a mountain to climb to open those doors so that I can have wonderful stories like what you're saying.
Yeah. The thing is, where it starts is with possibility, okay? Because again, when we talk about this sort of stuff, we kind of think, all right, well, I have to go from where I am today and the beliefs I have today and how I manifest stuff today to literally being a multi-billionaire tomorrow. And that's not how it works. We just have to start opening up to the possibilities. So you could, here's some little practical hints and tips. You could start just saying things to yourself like, I'm looking forward to the day where money isn't an issue for me. You could say something like, it is, I'm getting ready to believe that money is infinite. You could say things like, I'm getting ready to be more wealthy. I'm getting ready to heal my money blocks and beliefs. I'm getting ready to release my resistance to miraculous, surprising money coming from somewhere. It's about possibility and actually looking, going, okay, well, I feel this way today. But it could be possible that I can change the way I think. It could be possible for me to actually clear away some of these old blocks. It could be possible that things could work a little bit differently going forward. And as soon as we start to shift that mindset to one of nope, can't, never going to happen. This is how it works. This is how we've got the path we've got to follow. If we can shift that a little bit to, you know what, it doesn't have to work that way. Miracles happen. Miracles happen all the time. You created an actual human being inside of you. Do you honestly think a couple of £1,000 is like harder than that? I mean, really?
That's true. That's true. And I got that little human being out.
Yeah,
That still amazes me to this day, the power of us women.
And you've kept her alive for how long?
Nearly 14 years, actually. Yeah, that's very true.
No, that's
do you know
what,
Charles? I have got, I mean, I've mentioned it on here before, but I do love the book The Magic.
Yeah.
And if you come to my house, and it's quite funny, because obviously
she's hiding her face, listeners. I don't know what's coming.
Well, sometimes when I'm dating a new man, and they come to my house, and it's happened a couple times. Maybe this is why my dates don't last so long. They come and they might get something out the fridge, and then they stand there and they look, and I've got like messages on my fridge.
Yeah.
And then in my bedroom, I've got money that I've written on with like a message, you know, to bring it into my life.
Yeah.
And they like walk around my house and they see these little messages everywhere. And at one point I had a universal, I need to do another one actually, I haven't got one on the go at the moment, but a universal check.
Yeah,
so I'm asking the universe for a specific amount of money, because at the time I needed and actually I tell a lie to you, because I've had 2 universal checks now for specific sums, and each time I have got that money. Now I haven't got it the exact amount in one go like your story, and sometimes it's taken a while, a good couple of months to achieve that money, but it might have come in the form of unexpected gift from a family member that just said, oh, here's a bit of money, I've been thinking about you, or something like that. So actually, holy moly, I have actually manifested money. But yeah, going back to these men, they walk around my house and there are these little notes everywhere, as they are reminders to me, like physical reminders. But yeah, they probably wonder, what the hell are we dealing with here?
And I've got several responses to that. First of all, you need to find a man who loves that about you and who would be happy to do the same. That's the kind of man that you need to look for or attract into your life, let's say. Someone who looks and goes, oh my God, that's amazing. I do that too. That's what we are looking for you. Secondly, where was I going with the second point? Denise Duffield-Thomas, another one of my big teachers. I absolutely love her. I've done her money archetype course. She's just amazing. She says you need to track your money, and you track every penny that comes in. You can look at what goes out as well if you want to, but most importantly, look at what comes in and log it, so that it's like building up a little portfolio of evidence for yourself over the month, so you can see, okay, you've got your pay that came in on that whatever day, X amount, but also your friend bought you a coffee. Well, there's what, £3.50. Your nan sent you a check for 150 quid because she was feeling nice. Go, well, there's another 150 quid. So you can add up all this stuff that comes in. You know, oh, found a £5 in an old handbag in the cupboard. Even stuff like that, everything. So whether it's actual money or stuff that is of value still, write down the monetary value and add it up. Then at the end of the month, you look. And the amount that you have is guaranteed to be more, like on your sheet, is guaranteed to be more than what just your pay is. So your head would believe the only money you get in through the month is your pay. But this is proof that actually, well, oh my God. In some months, it'll be, oh, okay, so I got 25 quid more than my pay this month. And then the next month it'd be like, oh my God, I got 450 quid more than my pay. And here's me thinking the only money that can come to me is through my paycheck. Oh,
so if somebody bought you lunch, you'd count that as, you'd roughly add it up to what it would have been, and you'd count that as
8 quid or a tenner or something instead.
I need to do that.
And I don't know, just little things like, so say for example, so we've been rewatching the Lord of the Rings movies because that's who we are, and they're not on anywhere, which is frustrating. So I've had to buy them off Prime, which, you know, it's like, hang on, you pay for all the streaming services and you still have to buy movies.
I know, that really bugs me.
Yeah. Anyway, so I bought the first one, the second one last weekend, and we blitzed them, and they were £9.99 each. Okay, that's fine. Bought them both, 20 quid. There you go. This weekend, we were ready to start the third one and went on to buy it, thinking in my head, right, that's another tenner out the bank, it's going to go. And looked, and it was actually £5.99 rather than £9.99. So on my sheet, I will be putting down, actually, I earned £4.99, or I attracted £4 back because I saved that much money on.
Yeah.
And I was gonna buy that, whether it was £9.99 or whether it was £5.99. I wanted it, so I was gonna buy it. So even if you're shopping and you get like a deal on something, or Tesco with club card or things like that, look at what the money would be before your club card savings. Oh my God, I saved £15. So that's £15 earning on your little tally sheet, because you would have spent that anyway, wouldn't you? Because you needed to buy your bread
That
and
is so
and all
true.
the stuff.
I've never
But
done
money's
that with my
coming in all
Tesco
the time.
points. Oh my God. Okay,
Money's
I need to
coming in all
do
the time.
this. I
Yeah.
need to do it. So this is one of the things, listeners, that because I do go away and do the things we discuss. So yes, I need to do
I can
that.
see her face. She's got it. She's totally thinking about this.
Yeah.
Her cogs are totally turning.
The cogs are turning. I'm going to do this. I'm going to track my money.
The other thing I want to talk about with money in abundance is, and it's an Abraham teaching, and it's something that I bring myself back to over and over, because they always say there's two ends to every stick, which means there's really two topics to every subject. So if we were to think about something we wanted to either manifest in our life, attract, earn, however you want to put it, can you think about it? And this is a really good way to tell if you are actually receptive and vibrating at the right frequency to attract into your life, or if you are filled with resistance and you are stopping it. If you can think of that subject and be happy, hopeful, excited, optimistic, joyful, you are receptive and it is coming. If you think about that subject and your mind goes to lack, it's not coming. You are stopping it. So, and I do this. I'll think, oh, I want money for whatever. And I'll stop and I'll go, okay, how am I feeling about money right now? And I'll think about money. And then if I get that heart fluttery, oh shit, there's not enough. It's going to run out. I can't afford that. Ooh, we'll have to tighten our belts this month on the, or this week on the shopping, or shit, she needs new shoes, or whatever it is. I am certainly not receptive to money in that moment. I am blocked. I have a dome of steel around me that is going to stop me from bringing anything in. Whereas if I can think about money and be like, oh yeah, that'll be great. Oh, I'm looking forward to paying that off. I'm looking forward to buying that, whatever. I'm open, I'm receptive, I know it's coming, and it's going to come easily, it'll come quickly, and it'll all be good. Does that make sense?
No, it does make perfect sense.
We're so busy thinking about the lack of it. And when a lot of people are talking about manifesting money or attracting money, they're trying so hard, but actually the trying is turned into resistance. And it's coming from a place of desperation rather than excitement and hope and joy.
Yeah, and you don't want it to become a pain, do you? So you don't want to just be, like you say, feel exhausted by it all the time, because then there is no joy. And probably that's why I may have had challenges over the years with it.
Would you like another little technique to try?
Oh yeah, you know me, Shelf. I love a technique. Let's have another technique.
So if you find yourself in a position where you need money for something, okay, and even if it's just a sense of security or a feeling of freedom, it doesn't have to be a physical thing. It's nice to have money there just in case, a little emergency fund in case, I don't know, the car goes or the washing machine, you know, that feeling, that just of being safe and secure. Or you might want money for a physical thing. What you need to do is you need to write a list of all of the feelings you will feel when you have that money. So rather than, because when we focus, say for example, I don't know, I don't want to say this because last time I talked about manifesting with washing machines, I was knacked, and I got a brand new washing machine, but never mind. But I don't want to have to lose the washing machine for a fortnight beforehand. So let's say a holiday, right? A holiday. So if I think about, I want a holiday, and in my head, my brain might go to, I can't afford a holiday. Holidays are so expensive. Oh my God, I'm so jealous of everyone who gets to go on holiday and take their kids abroad and blah, 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 all those kind of thoughts. If I can pull that back, and if thinking about paying for a holiday makes me feel the bad things, I need to flip it round. So why do I want this holiday? What am I going to feel when I book this holiday, I'm going to feel excitement. I'm going to feel joy. Well, when I have a holiday, I'll feel relaxed. I'll have a sense of adventure going off seeing new things. I'll feel like a good mom because I'm taking my kids to places they've not seen before. I'll feel I'll know that I've done it for them. So I'll feel successful. I'll feel wealthy if I'm booking lovely holidays. What else will I feel? I'll feel accomplished. When we're away, I'll feel at ease. If depending on where we go, I might feel quite magical if we go to somewhere like Egypt and see the history stuff and everything. Now you can hear in the tone of my voice the difference in my vibration talking
Mm.
about each side of things. And if I'm talking about, oh, it's going to be expensive, can we afford the monthly payments? And then there's insurance, that boom, vibration just hits the floor. Thinking about how you are going to feel when it's there, again, it's this thing where we tricksy our brain into believing it's already happened. So when I was talking to you there, I don't know, walking through Egypt and showing Tabby, look, this is the goddess Isis, and I love her, and this is amazing. And oh my God, don't touch that. Do you want to go and get ice cream now? Do we all need a drink? Do we need to head back and get a wash ready for tea tonight? All those that's where I was. And that's where my brain genuinely thinks my body was in that moment. So it sent out all the chemicals of joy and happiness and relaxation and all the good things, which in turn instantly banished my resistance, opened my energy field so that I am now open and receptive. And if I don't message you and tell you I've got myself a holiday to Egypt in the next couple of weeks, I'll be really surprised. It does take a bit longer than that. Abraham Hicks, again, good old Abraham, has I want to say 1764 method, which is where if you can think about something with pure positive thought for 16 seconds, and I'm going to look the numbers up because I don't know if it is 16, it might be 17. However, we'll go 20 seconds, okay? That is when all this resistance around us starts to fall away, okay? So me just talking about all the good things about that holiday, boom, started the cogs in motion. If I then kept that up, and whether you're saying it out loud, I mean, it helps to say it out loud, but if you say it out loud or think it in your head, for 1768, I'm sure it is, for 68 seconds, that is when you vibrationally are different and you are then open and receptive to attracting this stuff in. So it's about shifting past the lack of it, shifting past the negative emotions about it, and pivoting to a mindset and a vibration of all the good feelings.
Wow.
Another
Well, I
lecture
mean,
for you there.
it's never a lecture, Shells. We always learn an awful lot. Well, I personally do anyway. I don't know. I mean, what a session. What an absolute podcast episode. Love it. Learned loads. I think that's a really good place to end. Thanks for always giving us your top tips, everything that you share with us. I wish I had some more that I could share with the listeners, but I definitely am the one that is trying to grow from everything you're saying. And I do honestly do the things we discuss. And I keep saying we'll put more on the socials about it. But like we did put out, didn't we, when I manifested my pink cars? And guess what? I'm still seeing pink cars, everybody. All these weeks on, pink cars are still coming into my life in different ways. So yeah, maybe I am actually okay at manifesting.
I think you are so much better than you actually give yourself credit for. And I think it's just a case of practicing practicing the thought that you are a manifester, you are a co-creator with the universe, and that you are powerful and wonderful and can do and be anything that you want. And the more you practice, a belief is just a practice thought. So if you practice that, you will believe it. And when you believe it, it will come.
Okay, well, guys, over to you now. You need to take away all this lovely, amazing stuff Shelley's taught us. Give it a go. We really want to hear back from people. We have actually heard back from a couple of people, haven't we, recently?
We have, yes.
We've had 2 really great stories come in from our listeners. And I tell you what, for Shelley and I, it literally is like we cry, don't we? We cry with happiness.
It lights us up.
Oh, I can't tell you the feeling of seeing that somebody's done something or had something amazing happen to them. So please share more stories with us. We'd love to know how things are going for you.
Definitely. It's so nice when people reach out and just let us know that what I see as my waffle is actually having a positive impact on someone's life.
Oh, you absolutely don't waffle, honestly. Honestly, I just think I cackle a lot through all these episodes. But hey, that is me, so I'm not going to change.
It's a magical cackle and it's infectious. And think of the joy that you are bringing when people hear that, because it is infectious and we can't help but laugh alone.
Well,
Right.
thank you for this week. Next week it's all about hidden beliefs. So we'll see how that goes, guys. Always a bit of a difficult one. Shells, you've been amazing as always.
Well, you have been amazing too. Please don't big me up so much. I don't like it.
What is it we always say? Like, rate, subscribe, comment. Actually, we'd quite like some more comments, wouldn't we?
That would be lovely.
A couple.
Lovely. And share us with your friends. That would be really nice as well.
Yeah, these two mad women, get us out there. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, and we will speak to you soon. Take care.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.